On October 17th of 2017, the Parliament of Catalonia declared independence from Spain, creating the Catalan Republic. Thankfully, today the Catalan Republic has not fully succeeded due to Spain's disapproval. Spain should not let Catalonia secede because there is no solvability, and the aftermath effects would hurt Spain, Catalonia, and the European Union more than it could ever help. The first reason Spain should not let Catalonia become independent that I'm going to talk about is how there is no solvability. An independent Catalonia cannot stand on its own. They would need to establish its own central bank, inland revenue, air traffic control, and defense force, all of which are currently run from Madrid, as are electricity and gas transportation and distribution. The region's telephone networks are run by major Spanish and foreign operators and also regulated from Madrid. Its airports are 51% owned by the Spanish state, and its railway tracks and rolling stock are operated by the state. Catalonia's government debt as a proportion of GDP has more than tripled since 2009, standing at 76 billion euros. Its low credit rating means it cannot borrow directly on financial markets, so it depends from the Spanish state. Outside the EU, Catalonia would also have to establish its own border control and customs service. Catalonia is much too involved with Spain and could not operate on their own. Spain controls much of Catalonia and it is not likely that they could be a successful nation. Catalonian independence is also allowing terrorism to breed and expand. Terrorist groups have chosen Catalonia as a breeding ground for extremism. There were 2 attacks last December that injured more than a dozen citizens. French counterterrorism specialists are deeply worried about the presence of extremist groups across the border in Catalonia. The French Prime Minister said on December 13th, "The author of these attacks were integrated people. They are Moroccan Catalans. Catalan politicians should reflect and understand that there are terrorist groups who have decided to bet on Catalonia. Salafism seeks societies that it can divide. Catalonia is being targeted by terrorists because they are vulnerable. Just imagine how bad terrorist attacks could get if Catalonia was independent from Spain. Spain should not let Catalonia become their own nation because it would be unsafe for not just Catalonians but all of Spain. There are also other options than complete independence for Catalonia. Catalonia should receive more autonomy without seceding. The ideal situation," writes the European Council on Foreign Relations, "is for substantial reform of the Spanish constitution, including a further strengthening of Catalonia's self-rule, including an explicit recognition of their character as a nation. It would be required elections, qualified majorities, and a nationwide referendum, perhaps followed by a specific referendum in Catalonia. Complete independence is not the best option for Catalonia. They would not be a stable nation as they rely on Spain too heavily. A better option would be slowly separate from Spain while gaining more independence over time, or just staying a part of Spain." Economically, Catalonia is one of Spain's richest regions. Last year, Spain accounted for 19% of Spain's gross domestic product. One reason of this is because Catalonia is Spain's biggest exporting region. 25% of all goods produced there were exported out of Spain. Catalonia is also heavily invested in research, especially bioscience, with many cutting-edge hospitals and research centers, including in the nuclear sector with a particular accelerator. The region says it is number 1 in Europe for pharmaceutical companies per capita. Catalonia is a big part of Spain and should not leave Spain because economically it is not good for Spain. It is also not good for Catalonia because businesses are leaving. Since Catalonia's independence vote, 2,700 businesses have left. Business owners have become nervous and no longer want to operate in Catalonia. This is leading to higher unemployment because businesses are leaving thousands of people unemployed and taking jobs out of the community. Spanish Economy Minister Luis de Guindos claimed that Catalonia could see its economy shrinking by 25 to 30% and its unemployment rate double if it splits to form a separate state. Another outcome that will happen if Catalonia becomes independent is that it will not be a part of the European Union. This means Catalans will lose their EU citizenship and their Spanish citizenship as well. One of the goals of the EU is integration, which would be harmed by Catalonia's independence. Liana Brinded writes, "The Catalonian referendum has deepened cracks in the EU's plan for greater integration, driving debate around identity across the continent. Among the policies implemented in the earlier days of the EU was adoption of the euro, intended to provide a common currency and link the European nations together. If Catalonia becomes independent, it will pull the European Union further apart." Kathleen Brooks, the research director at City Index, said a referendum win for the separationists could cause the euro to decline by as much as 5%. The goal of the European Union was to join everyone together in creating the euro. However, Catalonia is going to hurt that goal because it is predicted that the value of the euro will drop if they split from Spain. Because there is no solvability and because it has and will have drastic effects on Catalonia, Spain, and the European Union, Spain should not grant Catalonia independence. Catalonia is in no shape or form to become their own nation. They are too dependent on Spain, and in the end, it will hurt themselves, Spain, and the European Union more than they will help Catalan people by becoming independent. And for these reasons, Spain should not grant Catalonia independence.